Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm Chris. As usual, super happy to see you here. Today, I want to talk a little bit about Polestar because it's one of my favorite stocks. I love the company. I love the cars. I think it's one of those EV companies that really has a bright future ahead of itself. So today I want to explain a little bit why, and also I want to look with you guys into the full year of 2022 results, which they just reported on March 2nd. So a very new report. I want to go through it with you and see a little bit what we can learn from the report. So with no further ado, let's just jump right into it. So what I'd like to do is first look into the operational side of the business. How were they actually operating? Did they do a good job? And second of all, I'd like to look into the financials. So how was their financial performance? Because obviously that is also extremely important. Looking at Polestar from a operational point of view, they have performed extremely good. In fact, they have outperformed their expectations and forecast for 2022. Originally, they forecasted to produce around 50,000 cars, as far as I remember, and now at the end of 2022, by December 31st, they have in fact produced over 51,000 cars. And that is an incredible increase of over 80% compared to 2021. So those are numbers that at the moment almost no other EV company can keep up with. It's fantastic growth. There's solid numbers. There's of course Tesla that is producing way more than that, right? And there are a few Chinese companies that can produce those kind of numbers. But other than that, Polestar is really, on the top of what EV companies at the moment are doing. Additionally to those 51,000 cars, they have also finally introduced their Polestar 3 at the CES in Las Vegas. That's definitely great news because with that, they are now producing the Polestar 2 and also their Polestar 3. And that is good because they're expanding their lineup a little bit and they can custom to more different types of clients. So definitely good to have 2-3 different cars. Additionally to that, next year they will introduce the Polestar 4 and then the coming year in 2025 the Polestar 5, and then as far as I know in 2 years from then they will introduce the Polestar 6. But that's still a long road from here. So I think what we should focus on is definitely the performance of the Polestar 2 and 3 and then maybe the Polestar 4 that's coming this year and the Polestar 5 for next year. And further out is still a very blurry picture with car lineups. And an additional operational milestone that I think is great to see is the expansion into different markets. So we can see by now they're operating in a ton of markets, right? They're very active in Europe, in fact. They are, of course, in North America and very active, especially also in China, where they do have I think 2 or 3 factories to produce the cars. So China, obviously, with the market that they have, is very important for Polestar. And in fact, they're performing quite well in China at the moment. They're performing that well, of course, in China because they're working very closely with Volvo together, which in fact nowadays is a Chinese company. The Chinese have bought Volvo, and also Geely, which obviously also is a Chinese company. So we got that expertise from Volvo on how to produce cars, the importance of safety in cars and so on, right? And then we have Geely with the expertise in the Chinese market. And together, that kind of builds that triangle that Polestar loves to show in their investor presentations, where Polestar sits on top and benefits from the experience of both Volvo and Geely. And this definitely helps them, with supply chain, with production technology, with, the consumer in China and so on. So this is a really important slide actually that they're having here. And I'm happy that Polestar can take advantage of the synergies of Volvo and Geely. Oh hey, and by the way, don't forget to let us know what you think about Polestar in the comment section. And if you do enjoy the video so far, don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button. But let's get back to the video. Now jumping over into the financials quickly, we see that for the full year 2022, they made roughly those 2.5 billion renminbi that we talked about earlier. And that's a stark increase from the 1.3 billion they made in 2021. In fact, an increase of 84%. Huge increase. They almost doubled their revenue year over year. That is insane. And the good part comes here, because if we look at the cost of sale, we see that obviously cost of sale also jumped massively, right? 1.3 billion compared to 1.33 billion, right? And that's an increase of 75%. And here's where it gets very interesting, and where I'm interested in the company, is that their revenue is increasing faster than their cost of sales. And what that leads to is, of course, to a margin expansion. So we can see that the gross margins are at the moment for the full year of 2022 at roughly 5%. Now, the fourth quarter of 2022 was much better than that. It was roughly at around 6%. But obviously, the beginning of the year has a different margin than the end of the year, right? Because they're just expanding faster at the end of the year than at the beginning of the year. So we're talking about a 5% gross margin is obviously not very big, but the fact that it's expanding is what I like to see, right? And that's very good. And if they can just continue to expand it a little bit more, so if they can sell a bit more for a little bit less cost of sale, that would be very, very good. And that's the path eventually leading to a net profitable company, right? At the moment, it's great that Polestar is profitable on a gross margin, right? But I would say that over a long term, if you're only profitable on gross margin, it doesn't really help. You're still unprofitable on the bottom line, right? So you gotta expand your net margins to become net profitable, and that's really what's happening here. We can also see that their selling, general, and administrative expenses have increased, but we see at a much smaller pace than the revenue, and that's really the important thing here, right? Revenue is increasing faster than any of the costs, and that's fantastic. That's really what I want to see. Eventually, we will get profitable with Polestar if we can continue to operate in this way. We also see research and development expenses have been coming down, which is fantastic, right? Actually, negative 27%. I don't mind if they spend money in research and development. I think it's good, but if they can save some money on it and still develop great new cars, fantastic. Additionally to that, we have that listing expense because they went public, right? And that was almost 400 million. So that's a lot of money. So on an adjusted operating loss, if we take out the 300 million from the 1.2 billion in operating loss, we lost roughly around 900 million in the full year of 2022. Yes, it's still a big loss, but what we can see is that the financial performance is improving compared to 2021, and that's what matters at the moment. Everybody knows that Polestar isn't profitable right now, but the question is, will it be in a few years? And my answer to this is yes, most likely Polestar will reach profitability in a few years from now. I don't think it's going to happen next year, but I think maybe in 2 or 3 years, Polestar will definitely be performing very, very good. And we're going to see a similar picture like we saw with Tesla, where once it gets profitable, really stock price and valuations are going to start to come up drastically. Because currently at the moment, Polestar is worth, I think, around 11 billion US dollars. So it's valued really, really low for the revenue and the performance that they're having. So that's it already for me for today. I don't want to keep this video too long. Just, a quick insight, give some value to you if possible. And that's it. That's all I want to do. So thank you very much for tuning in. Let me know in the comment section what you think about Polestar. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Thank you very much.